Maybe she'll like more.
I know. All right, we'll see you in a few. Some of my students snuck in early, okay? So this actually goes towards handling your buyers, okay? Now, I wouldn't say handling, but kind of like really pushing them gently to understand that when you're out there, you know, looking at homes, we're buying a home today. We're not going to be looking at houses for 2 months. We don't look, okay? The fact of the matter is that this is your time, your effort. You've gotten them, you've gone through the entire buyer appointment. You know what they want. You know what areas they're looking at. You should have at least, listen to me very carefully, and I know it's going to blow your mind, at least 15 properties to show them over the course of 5 hours, and you drive. No. They don't follow you. They're in the car, okay? Whoever the decision makers are in the car. No children under the age of 12. They hate it. Honestly, I can tell you horror story after horror story after horror story. No kids. They have babysitters when they go out to dinner. They can have babysitters for 5 hours on a Saturday or Sunday to go look at houses, okay? Normally, it's going to be husband, wife, he and he, she and she, whatever the case may be. And it may actually be grandma or someone else, a parent, is going to be living with them and or helping them buy. They better be in the car too. Because the last thing you want is the two people sitting here, okay, well, we have to go talk to mom. And mom's like, oh my God, No, okay? Make sure your car is clean. It should be a 4-door. If you don't have a 4-door and your car is a piece of wreck, go rent a car for a day. It's cheap. You can get them even for the hour if you wanted to. Make sure it's something relatively nice, okay? It doesn't have to be super expensive. In the car, you should have at least a couple of bottles of water, maybe a couple like mints and stuff in the cup holders. I think that's a great idea. Keeps them awake. Encourage your clients when they're going on the showings to do a couple of things. Number one, they should bring a coffee cup because you're going to be stopping at Starbucks. Like I told you before, get a Starbucks membership. You're going to be using it. Number two, they should dress business casual. At least a polo shirt with a collar and nice jeans on a hot day. Don't be showing up in flip-flops and a tank top, because when mom sees that, that's the last person mom's thinking about moving into her house that she's selling, all right? Business casual, if it's a hot day, it's okay if you and your clients wear polos with collars. That's okay. Slacks or really nice jeans, perfectly fine, all right? The other thing that they should bring is a pad of paper and a pen to take notes. You want them taking notes on every single property so that they can remember which property they like, because they don't get the MLS sheets. No. No. Why? Because the MLS sheets have the other agent's information on it and private information that are not public, okay? So technically you're not allowed to give your clients by law the MLS sheets, okay? So you pick up your clients at a Starbucks near them, and they can leave their car at the Starbucks or at the shopping center. Almost always, they're like, oh, what if I get a ticket? You're not going to get a ticket. You're not going to get towed, all right? Because you're going to go into the Starbucks first and say, let's grab something before we hit the road. Let's go in and, come on in and, we'll sit down. The fact of the matter is that you want to be as friendly and make this as relaxing as possible, okay? What kind of music? Jazz, classical, upbeat, 80s music, I don't care. It cannot be rap. It cannot be like boom, 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 boom music. No, no. Something where you can talk to each other over the music and understand each other, okay? And keep it low. They can hear it, but it's not overwhelming. The other thing is to put your air conditioning at 68. Somebody's going to be hot, okay, even if it's not you. So you pick up your client, you've got your Starbucks, you got all that kind of stuff, and you want to set it up so that you are seeing the farthest house first, or the farthest income property, if you're working with income property buyer, first. Why? Because later in the day, on Saturday and Sunday afternoons, traffic is a bitch, okay? And last thing you want to do is you want to see the closest one first, and then you gotta, oh God, we gotta drive through all this frickin' traffic. Trust me, it really is painful, all right? Farthest first. I know there's a school of thought you should always show the worst house first, but the idea is you've got these 15 houses in order from farthest to closest so that you can save time and type in you hear this? All of your addresses that you're going to see into your phone before you pick your client up, so that all you have to do is look on phone, next address, and you're working your way back. The other nice thing about the MLS, let's say you've picked all your 15 properties, there is something on the bottom of the MLS called directions. You click on the ones you want to see, you hit directions, and it will plan your drive for you. Now, most of the time, it'll start the closest to where you are doing that search. So it might be the office, your house, whatever. Don't do that. You want to go to the farthest one on the list and work your way backwards. I even have printed it out, the directions, so that I know which one we're going to do for, and I can hand it to my client, say, we're going to see this one first, this one, because it's the farthest away. Okay, great. Saves me time. All right, cool. All right, people love it when you save them time. So you're in the car, you're driving to your farthest one, and let's say it's a 45-minute drive. What should you be talking about? Anything but politics, no religion, and don't talk smack about people because you never know, they might like them, okay? Other than that, pretty much wide open. I would ask them, what kind of job you do. You should already know that, but how is your work? What are you doing these days? Kids, talk about the kids. Honestly, God, they love their kids. They're going to talk about them all the time. And just drive the speed limit if you can. Most clients don't mind if you're doing 80, but if it's a senior in the back, she might be grumpy. Okay, so if mom's in the back, I don't know if you want to drive that fast, okay? You go and see a house. And I want you to listen very carefully to this. You go and see a house. The clients get back in the car. You have the MLS sheet. And the client's going like, I really do like that. This is why you have them in the car. Because if they're in the other car, you don't hear this. I wonder, that kitchen, it's actually really nice. I really like the kitchen. And Dad's saying, look, gosh, I could make the garage into an office and kind of a man cave. I could totally see this working. You take the MLS sheet, you put it between the chairs in your front, your console, where the stick shift is. You put it down there, and you listen very carefully what I have to say, because I want you to say it to your clients. I'm glad you like that property. I think there's a lot of possibilities and opportunities, you hear that? Possibilities and opportunities for your family in this home. That's an offer. Do you hear what I just said? That's an offer. I just changed the entire dynamic of the showing appointment. We're not looking at houses. We're making offers to purchase a home today. Okay? And you need to get that through your mind. When you go on a showing, honest to God, if you show them 15 houses, they should be writing at least 3 to 5 offers on 3 to 5 different properties. Why? Because one might be sold while you're sitting there showing the property. Another is getting so many offers that they bid them up to outside their price range. One, the listing agent's like, I got an offer and we're gonna take it, I'm sorry. And they tell you this privately without you knowing about it, okay? They are not the only buyers. And depending on how much they're putting down, they're more likely not the top client that people want to sell to, especially listing agents. Listing agents have an attitude. They don't like FHA loans for some strange reason, but FHA loans are harder to get than conventional loans. The fact of the matter is that you want to be in a situation where you change their attitude from looking at homes to buying at home. Now, let's say this, and this will happen, by the way. You go to your 7th house, and they're like, oh my God, I am in love with that house. It's just so cool. La, 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 la. Well, that's an offer. And you keep on doing that. You keep on going down and down and down. What if they don't like a house? What if they're like, oh, hell no. And by the way, sometimes pictures lie, Photoshop heaven when it comes to real estate. The fact of the matter is that if you drive up to a property and you see that it's in really bad shape and they do not want to fix her upper, but the photo look, wow, this is great. Yeah, you see that roof? It's got missing shingles. There's cracking on the paint. I don't think we're gonna be able to get this one. I think this is too much of a fixer-upper just by looking at it. And trust me, 70%, and this is a fact because I did it myself because I fell in love with it, 70% of home buyers fall in love with the house and buy it in their head from the curb before ever seeing the interior. That's a fact. They did a study about this. And in my case, I did the same thing. I drove up to this property, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%. And I never saw the inside, and it wasn't that great inside, but I didn't care. I said, this is, and I bought it. Okay, I beat out everybody. I didn't care what I had to do. I beat out everybody. And it was a duplex. I had to do a duplex. So what if you have multiple offer situation? 100% okay. With the technology that we have that's with the DRE, the fact of the matter is that you can pretty much, once you get experience, you're not gonna do this right away, but once you get up to my status and you have a template built up for seller and buyer, and your trainer should be teaching how to do that. Once you have a template set up, you set up a template for every single buyer and every single seller. I mean, that's all, you're gonna need it anyway. So set up the template, and then what you do is for every offer, you just use that template. Everything from the template goes right into the new offer. Everything from the template goes into the second offer, whatever the case may be. That's why you can write. I've actually done like 20 offers in an hour for one client because they wanted to offer the same price or the same down payment or the same deposit, whatever the case may be. They just wanted a house. The fact of the matter is that once you have like 6 or 7 of them, if they're writing 6 or 7 offers, they're probably gonna get one, okay? So what you wanna do is ask them, rank them from 1 to whatever. Tell me which one you're like, I would kill my children for. And that's the one you really wanna make an effort to make sure it's a very strong offer, above asking price, no closing cost, 17-day escrow, donating my kidney, whatever the case may be, to make sure that they get that house. Make the effort, because if they don't get that house, but you made the effort, and they get their 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, 5th choice, they're probably gonna go with their 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, 5th choice, okay? Especially in a very competitive buyer's market. And if they ask you, oh, what if they all accept our offer? They're not. They're gonna have somebody else who had a better offer. You're not gonna like the counter offer because they want you to jump through all these hoops and you're not gonna be able to do it. Or you find out that some of the square footage that they have in the house is not permitted, whatever the case may be. So there's gonna be issues with certain houses that you don't know about until you get your offer sent over and they come back at you and say, here's our counter offer, cut off your arm. But most of the time, you're gonna find really good relationships. Don't burn your bridges with agents. And if they get 3 offers accepted, they have the right of refusal. They can say, I want this one, this is the one I will want, and you tell the other two, thank you, but keep us as a backup in case. That's it, okay? So on that showing appointment, always remember to say, I'm glad you like that house. It has a lot of possibilities and opportunities for your family. Positive thinking. And that's an offer. Memorize that statement, because you will be more successful if you, notice I didn't say, you got to write an offer. No, you gently push them over the edge. And that's how you make money in real estate. Sometimes you just got to push them, okay? Gently. Don't shove them. See you on the next video.